Well, folks, I come to you today with a bit of a quandary. What you see in front of you in these two frames is my black racer nearite snail, and behind that is my zebra nearite snail. Now, here's the thing. They're not dead. They're very much alive. And if you look in particular on my zebra nearite, the little guy is moving his or her body and foot in a kind of weird manner, just kind of undulating in place. But they're not moving anywhere. And that's a bit strange. Now, they've been like this, or at least my zebra has been like this for over a week. Obviously, not dead, doesn't smell bad. And even if I turn them upside down to put the foot onto the substrate, doesn't move. And I don't know why. Now, the reason the black racer is like that is probably for the same reason the zebra nearite is like this. You see, over in this tank right here, I have my dream blue velvet shrimp. And over in this tank, I have my neon yellow shrimp. As you can see, the algae has built up quite a bit, and it's not aesthetically pleasing. Doesn't harm anything, but, you know, aquariums are supposed to look nice. So I have these guys, and they do an excellent job of cleaning up the algae. Problem. When I moved them into this tank, and then the other one in that tank, they stopped moving for a long time. They sat in place just wiggling their foot. Why? Well, I tested for why and came up with nothing. I talked to other experts who know more about neorites than I do, quite frankly. I tested my water, and I had other people test my water, all liquid test kits from API. So we tested the ammonia, the nitrite, the pH, the TDS, the GH, the KH, the phosphates, the copper, chlorine, chloramine, calcium, and I think that covers the gamut of what we looked into. And these are freshwater tanks, so you don't always check things like phosphates and calcium. So I don't have those two particular tests on hand, which is why I went to some place that did have them on hand and was able to get a more accurate reading. And surprise, surprise, the water came out perfect on every single test. Nothing was beyond the ranges or outside any realm of normality in which these guys would be able to thrive in. In fact, we have a zebra nearite right here, just squiggling around, eating algae. We have an olive nearite over there doing the same. And my black racer was actually in that tank, but I'm repurposing that tank for now. And I put them in here, and it's only these two tanks that seem to be causing snail problems. Now, here's the thing. Shrimp, in some cases, are kind of like the canary in the mine when it comes to water problems. And the shrimp are fine. The shrimp are still doing shrimpy things. Kind of squiggling around. Doing whatever it is shrimp like to do, you know, nomming on biofilm. So, whatever's affecting the snails are not affecting the shrimp. Strange. Now here's another thing. All these tanks, the 55, the 40, and all 5 of the 10 gallons, use the same exact water from the same exact source. I change their water on all the tanks on the same day every week. Make sure it's done every week. And 2 of them in particular, the one with the shrimps, just seem to be posing problems with the snails. I wonder why that is. So when dealing with a situation where you've literally tested for just about everything that test kits have to provide to offer, and come up with nothing, what is there left to do? Is there anything that can be done? And the answer is yes, there is. And it's not a hard thing to do, but you do have to have a little bit of money and equipment ready to go. So, this is what I plan to do. You see, test kits can test for what they were designed to test for, but that doesn't mean that they can tell you everything about the water. It's not like I have a mass spectrometer or a lab to look through a microscope and see stuff. I don't even know if that would technically even work in this case, because we're talking about water chemistry, not particularly things in the water. So the only thing left you can do is to just go all out with purification. And purification in a different manner. Still a form of filtration, but instead of relying on the nitrogen cycle alone, this is one of the few times when I have to think outside the box and do something that normally isn't necessary. This is a Mini Rapids micro canister filter. I have this for just such an emergency, and even though right now it's filled with fluval biomax, it will be replaced with two things. Carbon and Purigen. Those two things should, in theory, filter out just about any harmful substance that might be in the water that the wide gamut of test kits that I've used can't test for. Because, quite frankly, there could be anything in here and I might not know it. So, until then, I shall have to get them another day. I'll have to just deal with the fact that my snails are undulating in place. Snails are a quandary, and it makes me wonder if there's a better solution to keeping algae under control without having to manually scrape every single day. I had asked about some other options, but quite frankly, as far as putting them in a shrimp breeding tank, there really isn't a better option than an anearite snail. But there are other options. I'm not willing to do that, though, because these have a very specific purpose. The shrimp are perfectly fine. The snails that keep the tank nice and pretty, because you can see a clear difference. It's day and night. That tank has anearite snails cleaning it. That one does not. That one has the shrimp I breed and sell. If I have people come down here and look, they're going to think this tank is nasty, and they're going to think I don't do maintenance, when realistically, the water has been tested very heavily, and the water turns out perfect. It's just aesthetically displeasing. But some people assume that bad aesthetics means bad water, but that's simply not the case. That's why I have my anearites. And that's why I've got to go through some fun lengths to figure out a problem that doesn't have a clear-cut solution. Gotta love snails. Jeez.